There we go. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. It's Wednesday. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. It's Wednesday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And if you're on your way to bed, good night, sweet dreams, sleep tight. When you wake up tomorrow, come back, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and catch this replay. Y'all know what it is. It's your girl, your favorite wake up coach, Coach Ebb, here with another Wake 'em Up Wednesday. Y'all know what we do every single Wednesday. Come right here on this platform, over here on YouTube, and I bring to you a pain into power story. On tonight, I have another brother, another cousin, brother, cousin, whatever you want to call it. Y'all know what it is. It's been nothing about family for Black History Month. Yeah, I know we in the month of March, but Black History don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I ain't gonna go there, but y'all know what it is, right? Go see here. Okay, y'all know what it is. So let me introduce my special guest. Is my cousin, my brother from another mother, all of the above, below. Listen, y'all, I have my cousin, Frankie B. B is for Brandon, because that's what we call him. Frankie B. Reed in the building, in the power seat. He is coming to us to tell us about how he turned his pain into power. Frankie, go ahead and introduce yourself, cuz.
What's up? What's up for my Detroit folks or Michigan folks? What up, though? For my church folks, praise the Lord. My name is Frankie B. My family call me Brandon Reed, and yeah, I'm a engineer by day, DJ by night. I'm in the artist, music, everything that comes to mind with art. I love it. I love my family. I love God. Yeah, I have a couple patents on my back. I have a property or two, and I just love to, grind, hustle, just like my cousins out here. You know what I mean? But yeah, my name is Frankie B, and I guess do I get in my store now? What we do? What we gonna do?
Listen, he's so eager to tell his story. I ain't even got to say nothing. Go ahead and make it do what it do. Y'all know what he about to do. He about to tell you how he turned his pain into power. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so my pain is it's not an ongoing pain, but it's something to learn from. I feel like because I think it happens quite often in a lot of our lives. It's a term for it's called imposter syndrome. And I think it started coming from high school, going into college. Going from high school, I was a majority all A student, top man in the class, top boy, you know what I mean? Brushing my shoulders off. And then coming to college, I was bottom of the barrel. Drumline, the white t-shirt people, that was, the crabs, that was me. And it kind of blew my mind. Like, I was like, whoa, what's going on? Luckily, I had a program, MSTEM, science program that I entered in that helped me a little bit understand the culture of college. I went to the University of Michigan undergrad, and it helped me a little bit the culture of college. But I went to a majority Black school, minority. I feel like in the middle of the pack as far as like funds and stuff like that, and things that we had to do. But coming to college, I just noticed a lot of the students just had a lot more background in coding or activities, traveling to Spain or going places. Like, they just had a lot more than I had. And it kind of caused me to like think like, okay, am I supposed to be here? And it can cause like a lot of stress in a lot of areas, like taking tests. Just hanging around campus, it can cause stress because sometimes you don't see a lot of your peoples. And basically I had a couple exams where I didn't do well. I didn't do well at all. Luckily, I had like a friend or two in the class, Black friend, Black hand, Black man, in the class with me to help me go through. It was my best friend, Emmanuel. He just got married in December. But he helped me get through it too, because we was going through the same thing. So it wasn't just me going through it. Um, but I had to literally draw back and like kind of center myself and understand who I am as an individual, who I am on the campus, as well as just who I am in the world. Because I think it's more than life than like your where you come from, and your background. Sometimes what defines you is your spirit, and a lot of my spirit was built off of religion. So I had to go back to basically God and really reevaluate myself and check myself. Like scriptures, like greater is He that is in you that is in the world. And when you got God inside you, you kind of your mental becomes invincible. In a sense, I wouldn't say invincible because that's a strong word, but you become tougher. When you built that foundation, built that groundwork under you, you become a little tougher when going through situations. So like coming through exams, like literally we'll take an exam and the exams had curves, which means like the class may get everybody might get a 70%, some people might get a 50%, and then when they curve it, it comes to an A or a B or C. So when you coming out of exam and you getting like a 45%, everybody, what's that movie? Set It Off. Everybody's feeling like Queen Latifah, like we was a lot of us was in tears for sure, like definitely shed a couple tears, but I had to understand like, oh, this test is just it's just momentary. It's not my full life. Like my strength is not within this exam. My strength is within God. And He has already like told me who I am. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. So I had to just every time I had to recenter myself coming out of those exams, coming out of like spaces where I didn't feel like I belonged, and say that no, I am that natural man of God. I am that HNIC, that head natural man of God in charge. No, but yeah, you had to just,
I know what he wanted to say. I know what that was. Insert word. I'm that. Period. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. As you were.
Yeah. So yeah, you got like really speaking to yourself. And it kind of followed me not only in college, because I started doing better, just making sure that I kept my mental right, as well as I stayed focused on my material. I started doing better, keeping my blinders on and just focusing on what I needed to do and not looking to the side and thinking about what they were doing, and what they background had and everything like that. I kind of found out that like, hey, actually I'm a lot smarter, or not smarter, because I don't even think the word smarter is a good term. I can think just as good or just as fast as they can. I'm not slow or not. I found that out that like a lot of our people, a lot of our culture can think just as fast, even though we may have had a we didn't start off on the same line, and they got a head start or whatever you may call it. Like a lot of us have brilliant ideas, can think as fast when it comes to a problem solving. So like having that in my mind, like it made me do better in classes and do better at my work, not looking at other people beside me, or whatever. And I still try to use that to this day because that still pops in my head sometimes, and looking beside you and thinking like, oh yeah, they got it in a bag. But once you get to the your core and like, no, I am built for this. You kind of can grind harder, in my opinion. But it followed me into the workplace because, like industry, it's not a lot in my industry in engineering. It's not a lot of people that look like me, and it's not even necessarily look like me. It's more, I feel like, culture. Not a lot of people that comes from the same culture that understands my culture, um, and it causes. I mean, I don't switch code or anything like that, but I understand the other culture to be able to talk to them and communicate with them, and that's with any culture. Like I work with Japanese people as well. I have to understand their culture to be able to communicate and talk to them and talk about things, talk about sports or whatever it may be. It's just a form of communication to make communication easier, but not having a lot of people understand my culture causes me to still have that imposter syndrome of like, maybe you're not supposed to be here, maybe this is not cut off for you, maybe this workload is not, you can't take this or whatever like that. So I have to go back to that same bag. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath in every situation. And it's the same thing that was in college. Like a lot of times, like especially starting off, I feel like culturally I thought for some reason, maybe it's TV or whatever, that other parts of the world was smarter than Americans. Sometimes I don't know why that was, but being in those meetings and once I got to talk to them, they basically leveled the playing field. Like, no, you're just as smart as us. Like, no, you got it in the bag. Like, actually, you're more knowledgeable about this part than some other people in our company. And that strengthened me, but also just making sure that, like I said, knowing that, hey, I got it. I'm built for this. I'm built tough. You know what I mean? I'm not no wimp or whatever it may be. Not no scallywag, but anywho, it's just a thing of, I guess, to say resilience or whatever, to go through that imposter syndrome. Like our people was very resilient. From our grandpas, whatever, they went through some stuff. And them teaching us spiritually what our foundation would be, help them through life and also help me myself through life. So I guess it's not a long story, but in short, it's just a thing of like understanding who I am spiritually and grounding myself mentally in that, and some of those words from the Bible of I'm the head and not the tail, God is with me, and all those things, to know that I can get through any situation and any storm. Because that overall is helping me not only through college, not only through my job, but in my personal situations, when stuff come up, like a car engine light on or something like that, or I don't know, bills just pop out of nowhere, gotta go to the hospital. Like it just helps me mentally get through those situations, to know that, hey, I'm supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be on this earth. I'm meant to do something. So you know, short story long story short, that's it in a nutshell. But yeah.
Wow. First of all, I didn't know none of that. I'm like, what? Okay. I did not. Wow. I did not know. Imposter syndrome. Wow. I'm over here like, nah, he lying. I would have never imagined. Wow. So in high school, hey, could nobody tell me nothing? Hey, I'm Frank. I'm Frank. Okay. Then you get to college, it's like, Frank who?
Exactly.
Wow. The dynamic completely, like you said like on Drumline, the white t-shirt. You said,
clean the drum, polish the drums. Like,
he said, I do love my drum.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So imposter. I can resonate so much with imposter syndrome, like so much. So I'm just mind blown. I'm taken back because, like I said, like a second ago, I would never imagine. And dealing with imposter syndrome, you compared yourself to the backgrounds of other people and what you saw, how they presented themselves, how they spoke, what they was doing in college, the experiences, where they were going, and for you to feel, yeah, should I even be here? Am I even doing, like, well, I'm not doing it like they doing it, and I can't. Like the imposter syndrome, since we already done took it to church, the enemy had you thinking, yeah, I can't do that like them. Yeah, you can't do it like them. You ain't grow up like them.
Right.
You can't travel like them. You can't do what they do. And now you want to come up in here and you want to be an engineer and you want a degree. And you think as a Black man, you really about to get this degree and be an engineer. And what y'all may not paid attention to, what he said in his introduction, y'all see them behind him. He said he got patents. What? Did y'all catch that? I'm just saying. So it was more so, it wasn't about proving anybody else wrong. It was about silencing your thoughts, silencing your mind, silencing everything that was trying to come up out of you that was a lie.
Yep.
So you had to fight the lie. And what you said, I had to draw back. I had to draw back to God, and I had to go to a place where I know, you know what, this is only temporary. This is only momentary. This is not for the rest of my life. This is not where, where it ends. It's just beginning. This is just a bump in the road to where I have to go. And then you took it from college and went into corporate and still got smacked with imposter syndrome. And now you comparing yourself to your coworkers, to your peers, to probably leaders that are above you, even probably people that, not trying to put it like this, but people that worked under you possibly as well, because I don't have the same background as you. I don't have the same culture as you. You may have had it a little easier than I have. At least that's what I'm thinking. At least that's what my mind is telling me, that how can I be successful in this when I didn't go about it the route that you went about it, and I didn't do it the way you did it. It took me a couple of different routes. I had to fail a couple tests. I had to, the curve took me up to 45% on the test from 100%.
Right.
Wow. So I have a question for you, because you said something that I was like, I didn't think about that. You said you don't see too many people that look like you as an engineer, right? What made you choose engineering?
So it was two things really. Middle school, one, my uncle Andre, he's an electrical engineer, but I had no idea what he did. I just remember he said he was an electrical engineer, but I had no idea what that was, what he did, whatever. And then in middle school, I did this project. I think it was in 7th grade. We did this light bulb project where we connected circuit with a light bulb. It was in my science class. And I was like, oh, I like this. And then my teacher was like, yeah, like electricians and electrical engineers. And then I was like, oh, my uncle's electrical engineer. And then I think also in 7th grade, we did this, it was like life skills class, and we had to pick a job or pick a career, pick a house, pick a car, have our bills and rent paid and stuff like that based off of that salary. And I was like, oh, engineering, come on, looking nice. I can give me a Corvette. I still didn't get no Corvette, but I can give you a little black Corvette. So that like kind of threw me into the space of like a mindset of, oh, I think I want to be an electrical engineer, even though I still didn't know fully what they did. It was just those 2 or 3 things that kind of threw me into that space. And my teacher was like, oh, if you're good at math and science, engineering could be a good field for you. So that kind of what threw me. And then other than my uncle Andre, which was out of state, didn't really have too many people that I knew were in the engineering field or stuff like that. So it was kind of like I was rolling the dice in a sense. Like I didn't know what it was. I just knew my teacher said, oh, math, science, engineering is good. Try that out, blah, blah, blah. And I knew that light bulb project was fun. So that's kind of what threw me into it.
That is cool. I see, look, something else I didn't know. That is cool. I like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and let me get back to this imposter syndrome. Like I said before, because it seems like you were comparing yourself to other people at any point in time in college. You said that your best friend helped you out because he dealt with, about the same thing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
At any point in time in college, did you have other people that was like, yeah, maybe you don't belong here, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you should try to do something else, or go, or be here and go to school and get a degree in something else?
For me personally, it was like being in groups, like those working groups sometimes. Uh like I could feel the energy towards like them not trying to give me a certain amount of work, being like them that's not black, not giving me a certain amount of work and communicating to me a different way than they communicate to the other peers. So that caused some more of the imposter syndrome. My friend that I was talking about, him and like I want to say two or three others, one of the teachers at our school told them blank straight up. It was like, yeah, the statistics show that people of your culture doesn't make it through these classes. That was like freshman year,
Wow,
and
I'm
still
sorry.
mad about that to this day. Like I'm like
I'm
that
sorry.
should have been fired. But
Where he at? Bring it,
uh,
hand it here. Where he at? I'm just playing.
yeah, but like things like that type of energy can be felt if not said directly. It can strongly be felt. So yeah, there were a couple of moments that was like, man, like I remember it was a computer science class where it was like the second or third level, and the team that I was with, they all took like computer programming and stuff in high school or whatever. So of course I'm behind the barrel when it came to the project, and they like working through stuff quickly. And like I said, they'll try to give me small tasks instead of giving me like a larger chunk. Um, and that, like I said, would feel like imposter syndrome when you're in those moments. So yeah, yeah.
Wow. The audacity and the boldness of people is crazy. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to get to a place of something that you said. Of course, you talked about drawing back to God, and then you said that we always, because we got it up in this, because we all grew up in church. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
got it up, and we know where we're supposed to run to. We know who we're supposed to talk to. We know who, you know what I'm saying? We know where we get who is our source, who is our strength, who is our provider. But something you said was you had to focus.
Mm-hmm.
You had to hone in on, okay, I'm here for this, to do this. Even though I don't look like them, I don't talk like them, I don't act like them, I did not grow up like them, I may or may not be as privileged as them, but I have to focus on what I have to do because I'm here
Mm-hmm.
for it. I have a job to do. I was born and I was purposed to do this for a reason. Somebody in this field needs me because I have
Mm-hmm.
a special sauce that don't nobody else got. I got the swag that ain't nobody else got as
Mm-hmm.
here. So you focusing, how long in being in college, how long did it take you to finally get to that point where it's like, okay, you know what? I got tunnel vision.
I want to say maybe like kind of by the second semester, but a little bit before the second semester. That's when I started getting tunnel vision, like 4 months in somewhat. There was I don't know if I watched it then, but Jensen Franklin, I think that's the pastor that used to date or be married to Megan Good. Then she went on to the man that ran away from that white. No, I'm just like he was running. That was crazy. But yeah, Jensen Franklin had a sermon, and he spoke about like keeping your blinders on like the horse in a race. But he also talked about you don't know, everybody has their own movie or their own film, and you don't know what movie they in. They might be in the horror film. It may look good at the beginning, but you don't know what's they in. So it's important to stay in your own movie and stay in your own film because you got your own ending. And stuff like that, as well as him saying like in a horse's race, if the reason why the horses got the blinders on is because if they look to the side, that's when they start running off the track and they stop running forward. So they have the blinders on to keep running forward and not look to the side and look what's going on to the side of them. So that also helped me in those moments, as well as like I said, like getting back into my foundation, the Bible and spirit. Even if even if you're not spiritual or not from the church, it's more just boosting yourself up by self-affirmations. A lot of the stuff in the Bible is self-affirming, if you look at it in a certain way. And that's why I think the strength of God is the biggest strength of all. But if you don't believe in God, just still self-affirm yourself to keep going forward. Because that's the biggest thing. Like my cousin was saying, the mental of it all, fighting your own, not your own voice, but the voice that's in your head telling you you're not supposed to be there, is the biggest thing of all that I learned in those couple months of like, no, I could do this. I was built for this. And going back to the Bible, but yeah.
That is, I love that. That is so cool. You also said, you took the words, my next question. You talked about feeding yourself positive words, like you just said, affirmations, because you just said self-affirming. In all situations, even the words in the Bible is affirming. And if you don't believe in the Bible, speak positive things to yourself. And it's a process when you're affirming yourself and you speaking positive to yourself, because I can say, I am great. I am powerful. I can do this. At the end of the day, I can say it all day. And then at the end of the day, I don't believe it. But at some point in time, you have to go through a process of changing your mindset to where, you know what, if I buckle down, put these blinders on, and I focus, I am great. I am powerful, and I can do this. Now, with that being said, if you don't feel like you can, if you don't feel like you're powerful, if you don't feel like, start by saying it anyway, because at some point in time, your mindset is going to change, and your mind, your body, your spirit, and your words are going to come into alignment with each other to where you start to believe it. You know how some people lie so much and they believe their own lies? Like the sky's purple. I don't see no purple sky, but okay. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to speaking to yourself and speaking over yourself, you have to keep doing that. Even in those moments where you're feeling low, and even in those times where you don't even have your blinders on, you still have to continue to speak those things as though they are. Because your body, your mind, everything will come into an alignment. I like that. This imposter syndrome is deep, because that's something I used to deal with. And even when I first became a certified life coach, and I saw the other coaches, and I'm like, y'all out here, y'all got events, y'all have y'all one-on-one clients. I didn't have one-on-one clients right away. I wasn't out here putting events out here right away. I didn't have the traction that I saw other people have. And then I doubted myself, like, was it really the right thing for me to do to get this certification? And because I don't have this, I don't have that. And then once I focused and shifted my mind to, one day I am going to have that. One day I am going to have the one-on-one clients. One day I am going to be giving, throwing events, having events. And once I focused on what my message was, who my audience was, instantly, like right away, before I got the one-on-one clients, before I put on events, I ended up writing a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that popped off, after I wrote the book, then I got 2 contracts back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do you jump the gun from you still don't have the one-on-one clients, you still ain't putting on no events, you've jumped how a lot of everybody else around you has started off to contract. You know what I'm saying? So I understand completely, because I was comparing myself, like that comparison spirit to try to creep up on you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand about the imposter syndrome.
I'll add, like, sometimes, because that I think imposter syndrome comes up often. It's not like a one-time thing. It'll keep coming up, and sometimes you gotta turn the TV off. Sometimes you gotta turn TV off. You gotta turn Instagram off. You gotta take a break, because that's a part of, like, looking to the side and looking at what other people are doing and what you think. Especially TV growing up, like, they didn't really show much of us on TV in good ways. I mean, you had Bill Cosby.
Well, really got Bill. We really got Bill.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes you gotta turn it off and, like, recognize who you are within yourself, and ground yourself again. Because looking at all of that stuff, like, that stuff is just putting out what is called spotlights of people's lives, and not necessarily the real of what they're going through, the negatives that they hit and the storms that they hit. And they going through the same storms you're going through, but they're just not showing it. So sometimes it's important to turn that off and protect your eye gates as well as your ears, to realign with yourself, realign with God. Then another thing I was thinking of is, because we was talking about self, but also the portion of community as well. Like, my friend was that person that helped me, like, push through, as well as, like, now family is helping me push through a lot of stuff too. And I'm sure Ebony can speak for it too. Like, when you got people around you that's also pushing for you, it helps you mentally. If you got it within yourself already, that's just an additive. I think first is to have it within yourself, and then that additive, that plus alpha, is your family, your friends. And be careful who's surrounding you, because they can also be negative, whether it's family or friends. It don't matter. Some people can be negative towards your mission or your goal. So it's important to check that as well, because them imposters will start posturing.
Okay, check your circle.
But nah, yeah.
That's that. Listen, that's 100% correct. Okay, check your circle, check your friends, because sometimes your friends are your frenemies. They're your friends, but after your friend, really behind that, they're your enemies. Some you got your friends that pray for you. We talked about this, y'all. Then you got your friends sometimes that pray on you. Don't be over there praying on me. Don't pray on my downfall. All right.
Right.
Community is so important. We talked about this before. Community is so important. Family, friends, those that you can trust. And even when you have those you can trust, not everything is to be shared with everybody. There is a time and there is a season. You may share something premature and it can be aborted. You don't want to mess nothing up too early. So when you get to sharing with your friends and your family and with your community, yes, it is important. So important to have those. But check in with your father and make sure you're supposed to share it right away. Some things you got to keep tucked away in your back pocket. And when it's time, you may not even have to speak up and say anything, because first of all, we don't have to defend ourselves. God gonna defend us for us. But when he say it's time for you to speak or speak on whatever is in said back pocket, then you can speak on it. But it'll give you free range to be able to share with your community, which is I'm big on community, big on having a community and wise counsel. You can have a community and y'all over here trauma bonding.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
facts.
I got a 45%, man. I got a 45% too, man. Forget that test, man. Forget this, man. Yeah, forget it. How about we get to a place of, you know what? We both got 45%. How can we do better? What can we learn from getting these 45%? So next time we gonna make it an 85%. What can we do together as a community instead of trauma bonding? Let's bond over being better. Let's bond over being greater versus talking trash about this 45 we just got because we technically kind of just failed this test. I'm just saying.
Right.
So be careful, like you said, be careful of your of the community that you have around you, and when you do speak and say things and what you're bonding over, because just make sure it's not trauma bonding. Come on, y'all. We want to do better because we know better. We want to see better, do better because we are better. That's what it is. So I have a question for you. Yep. What would you say to that person that is currently in this moment watching you right now? What would you say to them that is dealing with imposter syndrome?
I would say tomorrow you'll be a better person than you are today, and you meant to walk forward and step forward into tomorrow. You're meant for this life. You're meant for what you're doing. You're meant for your purpose. If you don't know your purpose, tap into. For me, it was the spirit. But for you, however, you got to tap into yourself. Tap into yourself. But me, it's religion and tapping into God, which I do highly suggest. But tap into your purpose. Give yourself affirmations in the morning. Start listening to YouTube affirmations. Start watching my cousins wake them up Wednesdays. And just tap into yourself. You're meant for whatever you're doing. Keep your blinders on. Don't look to the side of you. If you are looking to the side of you make sure it's a friend pushing you forward, and not pulling you back. And yeah, that's what I gotta say.
That's it, y'all. He told y'all. He told y'all what to do. He told y'all, I'm not about to go back and run the points over. You want to know why? Because you need to go back and catch the replay. If you just now joining, we have DJ Frankie B Reed in the building, in the power seat, lighting up the seat, talking about how he has turned his pain into power. He's talking about imposter syndrome and how imposter syndrome is not a one-time thing. Why? High school, hey, he was the man. What? Frankie, oh, Frankie. That's me imitating probably what the little girls sounded like in high school. Y'all know I get over my male cousin, them little girls, y'all know, Frankie. And then got to college, and then he was a crab, like on Drumline, wearing a white t-shirt, beating his drum, because I love my drum. And then transfer over into the corporate world and still deal with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome tries to repeat, tries to come back, and tries to catch you in your vulnerable areas and bring you back and make you shrink when you know, oh, I beat this once. I can beat it again. I was once great. Let's get to the root of what made me come back down. So let me find, and this is something that I tell people, find the lie and fight it with the truth. Mm-hmm. Even in that moment, if fighting it with the truth, you don't even believe the truth, continue to repeat it to allow your mind, your body, and your spirit to come into alignment with, this is the truth. I am powerful. I can do this. I can get this degree. I can be an engineer, and I'm going to get some patents. Not me, because I ain't no engineer. I'm talking about him. Okay.
If you can get patents too. You can get patents too.
Listen, do you have any final words for us? Any words of encouragement that you would like to drop on us? If you say no, I'm gonna make you say something anyway, but it just sounds good for me to ask this question. So, do you have any final words for us to leave us with as we leave this live to go fight imposter syndrome and to ditch comparison?
Yeah, I guess I'm the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Greater is in he that in me, and he that is in me that is in the world. If you got God in you, nobody can stop you. And like keep pushing forward, keep making big things, keep making big moves. Tap in with my cuz if you need some help. Getting your life together. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I heard him. Type in with his cuz if y'all need some help. That's me. I'm the cuz. B, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I thank you. I thank you for giving your yes. I thank you for keeping your word with me. I thank you for doing what you do. And I am so proud of you because this was a story for me. I'm like, wow, because to see everything that you do, every place that you go in your job and in your personal life, I would not have ever imagined that you dealt with imposter syndrome on that level and comparison, the spirit of comparison on that level. But at the beginning and the end of the day, you know who your source is, you know who your provider is, you know we fall back on the word, we lean forward on the word, and then we're gonna fall back on that word too, and to the left and to the right. Like he said, y'all, keep them blinders on and stay focused. Everybody is here for a reason. Everybody has a purpose and a promise. Get to your purpose, you're going to see what's your promise. Everything has a great reward at the end of the day. Again, B, I thank you so much for joining. You could have told me no, but you did.
No doubt, no doubt. You already knew it was a yes. Yeah, love you.
Oh, yeah. This has been an amazing Wake 'em Up Wednesday Pain into Power episode. Episode number Kobe 24. I'm so glad I didn't get that wrong because y'all would have came for me if I would have said the wrong name. I'm so glad I got that right because I don't want y'all coming for me, especially you. So until next Wednesday, y'all know what it is. We'll be back for another Pain into Power episode. Until then, next Wednesday, I love y'all. If you just watching, go back, catch the replay. This was good. Okay, go back, catch the replay, and listen because we're talking about imposter syndrome. Focus and keep them blinders on. Ain't no looking to the left. Ain't no looking to the right. Until next Wednesday.
Hey.
That was dope.